Evening, everybody. It's another night of some RTS League recorded games, and tonight is actually July 4th, which here in the United States is our birthday. So happy birthday, America. Right now, my kids are trying to sleep, and the neighbors are setting off fireworks. So I hope they don't wake the kids up. So I've got 6 games to watch tonight. I'm hoping they'll be all right. We got few games that, well, at least the first two are probably not very close because UCA is quite a bit better than TMB. But GDM versus .A and GDM versus JSS. Well, .A and JSS definitely have the advantage there. Hopefully they'll be like kind of close enough to at least be interesting games to watch. So I've got everything I think ready to go, and I just gotta click a few buttons to make sure we're ready to go. And let's see, so hopefully we'll have some fun tonight. So, alright, RTS League recorded game. Yep, looks good. Close that off. Get to our game screen here. I'm hoping that it'll automatically stream to YouTube. My last night's thing didn't work, so I don't know why, but we'll see. Hopefully it works tonight, otherwise I have to try to figure things out. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Yo, what's up, Mr. Zebji? Yes, I don't think it's working on my YouTube. That's very strange. Huh, whatever. We'll figure that out later. What are we looking at? Not week 2. Yeah, week 2. So TMB versus UCA. Welcome back, except -1 stream. Yeah. That's alright. It's good to be back. How was vacation? It was good. Anyway, for the game, we'll kind of introduce this game real quick here. Our top player, what are we looking at here? We're looking at UCA right now on Oasis, and our top players are the UCA. This is the UCA B team, but the B team is still actually pretty good. They got some good players. We got Swiss Boys Oranos, Nyan Racing Cat, he's Kronos the Pocket, and then Lilar Core is also Caracal. He's set, so 3 pretty good players there. On the other side of the players here, we have our TMB. We've got Nolan. I don't know a lot of these players on TMB, I'll be honest. Nolan, he's a Ranos, and we've got Igo Wonder, he's also a Ranos, and then we've got third, Too Fast, who is also a Ranos. So we've got 5 Atlanteans and then 1 set from Lilar Core. Yeah, I don't really know a lot of these TM guys. I don't think they're really that great, but we'll see. At least on Oranos, with Oranos on Oasis, you can actually do some damage. And really, once you just put auto Q on your few military buildings, you don't really need to try super hard to be competent. But we'll see. I mean, late game, mid to late game, and you got to start making decisions. So we'll see what happens here. The set player could kind of do a few different things if he wants. Probably maybe do kind of a semi-fast heroic, I would think. For our hunt, we've got just 3 giraffe, which isn't the best of hunt ever for Oasis. And starting off, I think, is just 1 or 2. Yeah, 2 zebra, and that's not much either. So a pretty low hunt Oasis, to be sure. But yeah, vacation was fine. The trips were good. A little bit long, but the kids did pretty well. As far as the vacation itself, I mean, it's mainly just fulfilling obligatory family visit, and really not a ton of fun things. I mean, her family they're nice, but they wouldn't be what you would call exciting. But it's a beautiful country out there. I mean, kind of pretty close to the Appalachians. And here in Midwest Illinois, it's all perfectly flat. So at least the mountains are or kind of mountains, I guess you could say, are pretty cool. And we went to a state park up on a mountain and went on a hike to see a waterfall and stuff. So at least that was cool, and it's nice to have a break for a week from watching the kids, because it's kind of the grandparents watching the kids. So that was good too. But it is nice to be back home. Nice to be streaming again. You missed my streams, I see, but it was nice. I mean, and also the other nice thing is being off of work for like 2 weeks. That's always pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Archaic Age anyway, for the game, landing Archaic Age is pretty simple. We do have a time shift here for Nyan Racing Kit. I think he time shifted a little too close, because I think TM can see that. And yeah, when you time shift, you don't want to put it in enemy line of sight, because then they know, well, here comes the rush over here. And Racing Cat will be aging up, right? So he's doing kind of the 330, but more like a 345 rush, which is kind of an all-in rushing strategy. So, you know, as Kronos, he time shifts forward, he gets Valor on his oracles, trying to just push too fast off of resources, and then we'll see him shift over a counter barracks for some Terma. And we'll see how the allies react to this, or even more importantly, how Too Fast reacts. Yeah, crime is way up. He's kind of a slow advance. He won't be advancing till almost 5:10, and that's pretty slow. Just needs to be careful. Really what he should do is just kind of... Oh, he's got another oracles. Swiss used Valor on these oracles to get his hunt, and it looks like he is going to lose a citizen, which that sucks for him. But yeah, I was going to say he should just not mind gold and just kind of get his goats right now and not worry about it. And the next building is a... probably another counter barracks, I would think. So it looks like, yeah, Swiss boy is coming over, attacking as well, along with our Racing Cat. And I wonder what are we looking at from the set? Well, we see like kind of... Oh, wow, that's a very slow advance there. Oh, he's got the monkey. You got some baboons. Not the relic, but got baboons. Seems like TM is advancing kind of way too slowly for what is typical. And he's gotta watch this. There we go. But yeah, because like yellow is so much later, we can see that yellow doesn't really have any units yet, and we have a shift. Oh, we shifted some military here into a into a cage. So these term are going to be stuck in there for a while the set puts on more aggression on this very forward gold mine. But we're kind of looking at here, and we can see that Too Fast's base is kind of rapidly disappearing, and yellow is now showing up to help out. But kind of unusual that he built a barracks as well. You kind of want to make Terma, because he's going to need food. I mean, he does have a decent amount of sheep, or goats, I guess, but he's going to run out of food soon. Yeah, Lilarkar is Carrico, you are correct. So yellow is here trying to help out. The one thing that TM kind of has going for them in a way is that if Too Fast doesn't take too much damage, the 340 advance from the Kronos does kind of put the Kronos in a pretty bad economical situation. He uses Shockwave here, but doesn't actually kill any units. And now we have almost be worth it to... Well, you'd be paying 300 resources to get this here. But okay, we do have Valor. You gotta watch out though, not lose his units or his citizen. And our attack from Lilar Core is stopped. And he's actually gone all the way back to finish off these Terma that are hiding in the fence. And actually, Swiss Boy is grabbing a town center, which is allowing Igo Wonder to help out his buddy, because Igo Wonder actually now has more army than Swiss Boy. And Mariano with a follow. And this is a nice little surround here. Should be able to kill a little bit. There we go. Get the melee on. That actually slows down the unit slightly, which does allow them to be attacked by the ranged unit. So, and then we have Swiss Boy coming in here. So actually not a bad response from TM so far. Actually pretty well responded. But yellow needs to attack while Shockwave's being used there. And I think Too Fast only ended up losing just that one citizen up here. And it does look like Lilarcar will be trying to age up, although, no, he's building barracks. Kind of surprised. You'd almost want, with him doing that forward aggression, you'd almost want him to do it's kind of a semi-fast heroic, because you don't really want to make barracks units. Because really what Green should do if he sees Lilarcar making barracks units is he should just leave Lilarcar alone and come over here and just do a triple on this side. And we can see that Swiss Boy is now grabbing a forward town center as well. He's able to get all of this because yellow has to go all in on army to help out on this side. And so that kind of gives him the opportunity to take these town centers. But looks like I Go Wonder will... Ooh, did he stop just before he saw this town center? Which he might end up getting it anyway. It depends if he see... Okay, so he does spot that town center. Might be able to slow it down. And there is some hunt here that somebody didn't get from earlier. And we actually see that TM is now fought back and kind of beat off that rush. So actually, not kind of well done by TM. Anytime you have kind of inexperienced players, or not quite as good players like TM, isn't the super most skilled players. Stuff like Kronos Rush can really cause a ton of damage, and the fact that they were able, Too Fast was able to survive it as well as he did is kind of credit to him. But they don't want to let that town center get up, and really I Go Wonder could probably almost pressure this. The problem was that Too Fast spent a little too long killing this counter barracks, and now his army is here just a little bit too slowly, which means Swiss Boy is at 3 town centers, and the only other one that has another town center, it's for Nolan. But Carrico very slow to get his army, or advance. I mean, he does have a huge army, but the problem is slingers are just so slow. Nolan needs to watch out. So yeah, Nolan should just completely ignore Lilarcar and get some raids in. Because the Kronos would actually be pretty... I mean, you can see, like, doesn't have a lot going for him. I mean, his entire army is here. And Green should not be trying to raid the Egyptian. It's just not worth it. I mean, yeah, he's going to kill maybe a Vil, but he's also losing 2 Terma and a lot of hit points for that. And, like, why he is gathering from this gold mine, might as well just get off of it and gather from the back. I mean, why be up here? But I'd say actually Nolan is in a decent position against Lilarcar. We have our little bit of a fight here, which, okay, a nice shockwave on all those Terma. Just need to actually target the ones that are shocked. And yeah, it does end up killing quite a few Terma there, so really nice shockwave to get, ends up like 7 Terma killed with that shockwave, so not bad at all. The problem is right now is that TM is just so far behind on the town center front. Though I Go Wonder does have a second. And Swiss Boy still at his 3. And some really heavy pressure here, picking off that Carol Bliss. And actually with Nyan out raiding, this is a full-on 2-on-1. Look at all those flying units. But still, this is a very strong fight for a TM here. Because Nyan is a little bit out of position, not really doing any raiding. So this is a good fight for TM. They're actually putting in quite a lot of damage here. And it's just too bad that Green is really kind of doing nothing. And so Green should just be raiding. But, so actually we have Swiss Boy's army kind of dead. This is kind of the remainder of it. But Too Fast doesn't have enough heroes here. And so these proms will be able to do quite a bit of damage. And we have now Nyan is kind of back, picking off kind of the stragglers showing up. And TM is going to have to fall back a little bit. But now Igo Wonder is getting some raids in, which is going pretty well. He's kind of got units all over the place. Here and here and right here, trying to kill this citizen. And they do get a hero citizen, which is pretty good. But overall, this is not a winning fight now for Too Fast, so he's going to have to... He should retreat from this. There he goes. We need to... Igo Wonder needs to get another town center. And okay, little raid up here. Killing a few vills. Look at this. So actually, TM is evened up the score now, and have kind of mounted a pretty good counter attack, to the point where they're kind of a little bit on the aggression. But over time, though, they need to do a lot of damage like now, because they are falling behind economically. And so while they have kind of stabilized on their end, they'll be falling behind pretty substantially in economy. And now we have Lilar Core is aged up to age 3, and Nolan does not have access to his town center because of all of these slingers, and needs to be careful from his... There he goes. So actually what Nolan should do, I don't know how close, so he is up with Hyperion, and actually Satyr versus Slinger will do a ton of damage, although Lilar Core does have a lot of heroes. But he should probably not be making Murmillos. It'd almost be better for him to go... Actually, wouldn't be almost. It would be better for him to do Contarius. And is forcing out. So now he needs to retreat. Nolan needs to go back. This is not a good fight for him at this point. Yeah, losing so many Terma. And he needs to go back and switch out these Murmillos for Contarius instead. And that would do remarkably well against the pure Slinger army. Nolan was probably should have grabbed his town center sooner. He had the resources to, but instead he selected to go up to age 3 instead. And so he'll have a little bit of a tough time actually getting this town center back. He's getting fortified and also a fortress as well. Up here, what do we got? Just kind of Atlanteans being Atlanteans, and Promethean, Terma, some Murmillo. Still TM doing okay on this side, but just like Too Fast is just so far behind and is only now getting his first town center. And yeah, these Murmillos need to be Contarius instead. With all the buffs that the Contarius has gotten in the patch, would actually be good for them to... Good for him to use the Contarius. And Destroyers is also good, but he'll just have a hard time killing all of this. But the Satyr do some damage if you can get some good splash. The Satyr special does splash damage, so if you can actually get it in on the Slingers, kind of centralize it, you can actually do a lot of damage. But you can see just over time, just the Slingers will kind of kill the Murmillos and the Terma. And still, now he's switching to Arcus, which not a good idea. I think the Arcus are probably to kill the priests, but actually, yeah, I don't know about that. I'd rather just do Contarius, get both of his Pierce armor up, and he is up Hecate, or Hecate. Where is he going to use his Tartarian Gate? What's he doing here? Like, okay, so he's just running past and losing a ton of his army. I think he probably could have managed to get this Tartarian Gate used by just like sending one Terma in. An interesting placement for the Tartarian Gate, seeing as he used it when he also had line of sight of 5 siege towers, Would have thought it would have been more beneficial to use Tartarian Gate in the back and then keep pressure up on the front, because now this Tartarian Gate is just going to go down pretty quick, and kind of a rather foolish location to use it. And we have a bunch of fortresses up here that Swiss Boy is fortifying. And so we're going to have a hard time for the Atlanteans to push through all of these buildings. But yeah, so Nolan is actually getting some damage in. But he should have just used Tartarian Gate in the back end, hit the Lilar Core's eco, and then just pushed through all of this with maybe a double fortress destroyer spam, because Nolan is actually not in, like, as far as economically, is in a good position against Lilar Core, but kind of almost a waste of the triple Migdol. Almost a waste of your god power to use it right next to 5 siege towers. So Satyr getting nerfed soon. Well, when the next patch comes, which not sure when that is yet, they'd likely see a slight nerf. But yeah, this now Nolan is gonna have a hard time ever pushing through all of this. I mean, Lilar Core is at 4 town centers, Nolan just at 2, and like for some reason we have this town center right here that, like, Nolan could have grabbed this at some point. Like when he was pressuring here and had the Tartarian Gate and stuff, like he could have gotten this town center. I'm not sure why it's just sitting there, like, unused. That kind of confused me. And we actually have haven't been showing this, but Nyan has a back build with his time shift, and he is using his destroyers to. He's killed this town center and also killed I Go Under's main town center. I Go Under is up mythic, but so is Swiss Boy with Vortex, and it's does a decent amount of damage. The back build destroyers. Is TM gonna win this? No. Now he's finally getting this town center. Like, if Nolan would have been at 3 town centers a while ago, he probably could have defended this off, but it's a little bit too late. And so now we see that, unfortunately, too fast, just so far behind Swiss Boy, just courtesy of the early rush. And I Go Under is just a little bit too far behind, to the point where Swiss Boy will eventually just be able to push through. I mean, he can grab this town center too and go up to 4 town centers. And then you'd have both sides of UCA at 4 town centers, and it'll be tough for TM to really do anything beyond that. I Go Under is holding on to his Tartarian Gate. I'm not really sure why. Could the cost of towers be increased and limit decreased? Sure, they could. I mean, towers have already seen some pretty significant nerfs as far as their upgrades, like 40% for the first one, and then 30% attack nerf already. Now he's trying to get some. Okay, so the second Tartarian Gate is here. It does do a double kill on the Migdol, and actually is forcing Swiss Boy to Vortex over here. Now the Hika Gigantes will be able to kill all of this, and the Chaos the Chaos Hika is actually attacking the other Hika Gigantes, which is actually pretty good because they do extra damage. So really that one, I mean, anywhere he would have used Tartarian Gate, it would have resulted in a response by a Vortex. So, I mean, you get 2 Migdols, but we still have 3 Migdols here, fortified town centers, and now Nolan does have that 3rd town center, and we see Nyan is just doing absolute damage here in I Go Under's base, and that is GG's there. While I've been focusing on this, I Go Under's base is just fallen into shambles courtesy of this nice back build with the Chronos time shift and such, which is too bad. I mean, Igo Wonder probably should have been a little bit better positioned than what he was. Seemed like he was a little bit slow in getting his town centers. And now he ended up getting just kind of smashed by this Chronos back build, which I kind of neglected to show. I was looking at this too much. So kind of a sudden end, but Igo Wonder's losing his base while we were looking at other things. I'm kind of surprised Igo Wonder got bashed that bad. I mean, we look at like economically, Igo Wonder is so much higher than Nyan, but Nyan kind of single-handedly destroyed him. And I think it's because Igo Wonder was just too much on the front and didn't have enough on the back end. And kind of once you start losing your town centers and you get down on population, with Atlantean building town centers so slowly, I don't know, maybe he just ended up getting popped. I wonder if he has a lot of resources in the bank. Not a ton, but actually that game wasn't a bad game to watch. It was a lot closer. And actually it looks like briefly at the 16:30 mark, we actually had TM take the score lead, although kind of a bit of a, not a lead at all as far as in the game because they're so far behind town centers and map control. But this was actually a pretty close game, so wasn't not a bad watch. Kind of interesting. So that is game one, our first game of the night. So we will give UCA B their win. Game two will be on Archipelago. And we'll crush UCA. Maybe. We will see. Let us move on to game number two. Yeah, so I have a program that allows me to stream simultaneously to YouTube, but it's not working. I wonder why. Huh. Oh well, I'm gonna have to fix it because it didn't work last night either. Alrighty, so now we move on to game number. I do use Restream, and I've been using it for like a year and without any problems. And now all of a sudden, last night's stream and then this night's stream weren't working. But what is game two? It is Mediterranean, and we're looking at UCA right now, and they are on the top. And we obviously have a Gaia because we have Gaia Forest. So we have Lilar Core, he's set again. We have Nyan Racing Cat is Chronos, and then Swiss Boy is switched over from Aranos to Gaia. And down on the bottom is TM. Wife hacked my account. TM, we've got Oranos for Too Fast. We've got Gaia for Igo Wonder, and then Gaia again for Nolan. So a lot of just equal numbers of Aranos, or not Aranos, of Atlantean again, but now instead of a bunch of Aranos, we've actually got a few Gaia. And Gaia, with all the buffs in the balance patch, you could actually make the case that on Mediterranean, Gaia is better than Aranos. And even Chronos, you could argue that as well, just because of the power of the early deconstructs can really help out. As we see here, we got a deconstruct, which actually for Atlantean doesn't change a whole lot. It does slow down slightly, but not a ton. It's a little bit better for other civs that would not have a close villager. Like say if you're Greek, you would come here and build your dock and then maybe send your villager back here or something. I mean, for the Atlantean, they can just jump to the closest wood line. So actually it doesn't slow much, and actually that boat didn't get idle at all. It just prevented the second boat from coming. So really that deconstruct doesn't cost much other than maybe 25 food from the fishing ship and then maybe, you know, a little bit of wood. But yeah, I guess time is everything, and if you do slow your opponent down, you got a deconstruct from no deconstruct. That was more Gaia Forest. So The first Gaia Forest was given to Set. You always want to, as Gaia, give your ally the forest, then especially if they're non-Atlantean, because non-Atlantean civs gather. It kind of depends slightly on the civ and kind of the animation of wood chopping, but it's about estimation about 10% faster from Gaia trees than other trees, and it is a little bit faster for Atlantean as well, but not quite as high for other civs. And then of course it also saves having to build storehouses and such, and in this case it allows Lilarcore to empower both his food and his wood, and that's huge because now he's getting 20% food and 20% wood. Set good on Medit. Not bad actually. Is when you're considering like early stages, probably is the best of the three because you can do a shifting sands forward aggression. And we probably would see that because we'll end up seeing the temple with his free units, and then he might end up shift forward and do some damage here. Oh, we got some idols. Or could also go up with Anubis, but I would think the shifting sands would probably be better, but he's going to have to advance quickly, and it looks like he's kind of too slow to advance. Egyptian can reliably advance at 5 minutes, and that even 4:45, probably in this case 4:45 for Set, and Set can go faster as well because he can convert food and come back. Yeah, I'd say at least early game Set is better than the other two, but once you start getting late game, Set probably doesn't quite have the power that Ra or Isis would get. But early game, I like Set better, especially Ra. Medit for Ra is his worst map, just because Ra's god powers early on just don't. You can't really use them. I mean, Rain you can't do anything with early on, and even the shifting sands, at least on Vubli, where you can't shift citizens, you don't get a lot of value out of it. But now we've got everybody aging up right now. This is pretty standard 430 age up. Nyan has used Valor. Looks like he is doing a little bit of a land attack on Too Fast. So it's interesting though that he Chronos rushed the Uranos, because if Too Fast once, he can respond by doing a Valor on his own oracles, where if he were to have done it to a Gaia obviously does not get Prometheus and would not be able to use Valor. So now we have our Valor, or will soon. There we go. And actually the Valor for Too Fast is more valuable because he gets his citizen as well. And the hero citizens gather about 10% faster than non-hero. But now we've got our little boat battles here. We've got the Caladria flying around. The Caladria's heal rate is actually huge. And actually, if you can do good micro, you can pull back half-injured boats and heal them all up with Caladria. It does require a decent amount of micro to do that and paying attention. But we've got the Carnivoras being used as well. The weirdest noises. So the Carnivora being a plant, why does it make a noise when it gets attacked? That doesn't make sense to me. Give Caladria, I don't know how fast his repair rate is. Is it pretty quick? I'm not So Lilarcore has used his he used Vision for some reason, and he ended up going Anubis as well, and now is using his boats in defense. So actually Nolan does kind of have the early aggression, and has forced the defensive serpents. But on this side, they're kind of, UCA is kind of on the advantage over here, and we see that the rush here did get responded to, but he made a military barracks, and so green is kind of behind on the boat construction phase of things, and which is not good. Actually, Nolan, because he has the advantage on his side, should come over and help his buddies out. That's kind of the benefit of being Atlantean on water, like Medit, is that your boats are a lot faster than non-Atlantean boats. So that allows you with some good teamwork to kind of like outmaneuver your opponent. To which god would I refer myself and why? What the heck kind of a question is that? Uh, hmm. Well, Ozone thinks I look like Kronos, which I don't think is a compliment. Uh, hmm. I'd almost have to look at him to see. Right now with my beard, maybe Zeus. Because Zeus has got a pretty flowing beard, and I got my beard right now too. But normally I don't know. But as we see in the game, we see that TM is losing the water here. The one thing that the deconstructions and the pressure does is it does put Too Fast a little bit behind on water production, as we can see that he is behind on water production. And Swiss Boy is grabbing two. Already grabbed one town center and getting another. And Too Fast is grabbing his, and along with I Go Wonder. And we actually have Nyan is now over here with a few Promethean as well. Finishing up my smoothie. And now we see Nyan has switched sides, and now he's over here doubling Nolan. So TM is actually, they're losing water pretty quickly here. And Aranos isn't really a civ that can do well after losing water. So what we'll see, like Swiss Boy will be able to afford a 3-town center boom, given that he has additional fish. And Too Fast won't be able to do that and get an army at the same time. So he's kind of going to be screwed a little bit on his end, and the same thing. I mean, look at these myth units. Gaia and myth units just do not get along. And he is getting this forward town center, which is a little bit brave, but it's working out for him. But the problem is, Nyan will probably end up doing just a semi-quick heroic, possibly, once he's done fighting on the water. Do see some raids from Yellow, but now his boats are about dead. But actually, TM is fishing yet, which is good for them. But they're starting to fall behind on town centers a little bit here. We got Swiss Boy is at his 3. Lilar Cord is grabbing his 2nd. Nyan still doesn't actually have one, so actually TM is at 2 town centers for everybody, and the problem is UCA is a little bit too defensive on the ocean right now. Like I Go Wonder did a little bit of a fish raid coming up here, and kind of ended up making both 2 UCAs defend it. And even though UCA has a pretty strong water advantage, they're kind of just sitting around, which is allowing TM to fish a little bit more than what they should be. But I would assume they will kind of move these boats at some point, and then the fishing from TM will end. And we'll see if Too Fast can get this town center. I'm going to guess no. I'm going to say no. Because if it does get too close, we do have Swiss Boy with a Carnivora yet, which would actually slow this down quick. So I think Swiss Boy will end up overpowering this town center, preventing Too Fast from getting it. But we shall see. I have, believe it or not, been wrong before. And Garrico / Lilar Core is making the barracks units again, and not just aging up. Alright, so here is that Carnivora gets a few whacks on the Citizen, another on the other one. And now, yeah, we'll push both of them off. And once it's dead now, but we'll see. Should have really been attacking the town center instead of the manor. because the town center could probably be at 0 HP, forcing Too Fast to rebuild the whole thing. But actually, Too Fast is holding the little fight here better. I would have thought that Swiss Boy would send more units in quicker, but he doesn't. He only has 3 military buildings. He needs 4. He needs more military buildings because he's actually kind of even. Though Too Fast does have just 2. Okay, so now the boats have finally come forward and they are pressuring TM over here, but we actually have I Go Under is still able to fish, and even Nolan just a little bit. Who did we see age up? So Lilar Core is up now, up with Nephthys. And he does get the town center. And actually the Carnivora not attacking the town center and hitting the manor instead actually cost Swiss Boy from dominating that, because we could say that Swiss Boy's army was about to kill Too Fast, and actually Swiss Boy has the pretty decent numbers advantage now, but without targeting the town center with the Carnivora, it allowed it to just get up in time. We have Ancestors over here on the left, Carnivora being used right next to the Pharaoh, who will make quick work of that, but I guess this stopped it. Oh, we got another backbuild from Nyan. And he's got probably loading up. Yep, loading up with the Behemoths and the Ancestors plus Siege Towers will end up being the end of our forward town center here. And over here, yeah, now we've got Green is going to end up getting rushed on 2 sides. And with I Go Under having to help on this end, which this side's losing, this side is losing. We've got the Behemoth, and we've got Mills just absolutely smashing all of these Terma. How long lasts the guy ground for the TC? You mean the Lush? I don't know, maybe 20 seconds? So let's see. Maybe 14, 15 this is down. So we're now about 10 seconds in. I mean, it's still there. Still there. Okay, so now it's gone. So about 15 to 20 seconds it lasts. And in the meantime, we have TM resigning because the Behemoths kind of back here destroyed this, and Too Fast lost up here. And that's it. So this game was much more of a landslide than the first one. Just really UCA got the early advantage on the water, switched over, got their eco going faster, and then aged up. And Gaia against Set on land is not really a good circumstance for Gaia. I don't know if 2 Gaia is worth it here. I mean, when you're going triple Uranos, you're really opening yourself, or triple Atlantean, you really open yourself up to some problems mid to late game. Resources, I mean, UCA should be behind because they have an Egyptian, but then they end up getting ahead there. Kill loss ratio, it kind of tells a little bit of a tale of TM losing a lot of units, like Nolan especially, 26 killed and 64 lost. So that is game number 2. So UCA B has defeated TM 2-0. And just real quick while we transition to our next series, get on to our overlay here. So this will be the last night you guys are going to get to experience the little bit of a beard here. So sorry, it's going to be gone next time you see me, because I got to go back to work tomorrow, which means must be shaven. I don't have a choice. I got to shave it off. I'm really kind of bummed that my YouTube isn't working. I just will have to manually upload this later, but all of our YouTube buddies cannot join us live, which kind of sucks. You know what, I wonder if I can fix it midstream. Cops are not allowed to be sexy. I guess not. No, it's... It's kind of in the middle of a transitional phase right now for kind of policing across America as far as whether or not facial hair is allowed. A lot of places are going to allowing facial hair. Where I am is a bit more of a kind of, I don't know, behind the times, I suppose you could say a little bit, kind of more of a traditional thing. So facial hair isn't allowed yet. I mean, I could, well, beards aren't. You can't have a little mustache, but that, let's be real, that's just creepy. No offense to anybody in chat that has mustaches, but me with a mustache, not good. Doesn't work. So I'm trying to fix my YouTube thing now. And it says it's sending data, but I don't think it's actually connecting. So I wonder what the deal is with that. I might just have to reconnect everything. The changes basically just per department. Like there's some places around here that do allow it. Not very many, but a few do. But otherwise, for the most part, no. So, well, what I'm going to do, I probably will show up just to work tomorrow with my mustache. But anyway, let's move on to, because then what I'd like to do, people don't ever get this, is the last time I grew a mustache, I forget why I even did it. When I was talking to people at work, I got a few people with, I would tell them, now I must ask you a question, which is kind of low humor, but it was very entertaining to me. I got somebody 3 times with the mustache you a question when I was talking to him, and he never got it. So I mustached him 3 times, and he never even knew. Yeah, sometimes you got to get some entertainment. Anyway, we're moving on to our next series is GDM versus DoD. And actually, our third series will be GDM versus DoD again. Oh, I need to change my score on the top. But yeah, he had no idea the mustache was coming at him over and over. 3 times I got him. And then I think I gave him a... Oh, what was I? I was giving him a ticket for something. And he was a champ, and he usually didn't like the police, but he was pretty happy that day. I think it was a noise ticket because he was blasting music in the middle of the night. And I think he kind of knew it was coming. And it was just, you know, you throw a party, and if you have to get a ticket for it, I guess you get a ticket for it, and that's just part of having a party. Alrighty, so recorded games, GDM versus... Did I... You know what? I put the wrong team up here. Not JSS. Yes, JSS. Usually my family members, for the most part, aren't the kind of people that get involved with police interaction. Though one of my brothers did get pulled over the other night for not wearing a seatbelt, even though he was wearing his seatbelt. So there's some incompetence at times. I don't know how you can't tell if somebody is really wearing their seatbelt. But anyway, GDM versus JSS. Here we are, our next series. And we'll just get right into this game. Medit, again, you know what? I can't take 2 Medits in a row. So we're going to do the other one. And it's this is unbelievable. These are the same 2 maps as the previous series. Well, we'll do Oasis again. And we've got GDM versus JSS. Now, JSS, a bunch of good players. I kind of touched on it the last time I streamed, is that they aren't quite what they used to be. They're not quite as active as what they were, though they're still really good. GDM, not as skilled, but they do play a ton of team games together, and sometimes that extra teamwork together kind of can give you a chance to get better clans. So I'd say maybe 70-30% chance. 70% JSS, 30 GDM. This map I'm looking now, let's go over the players. So JSS is who we're looking at. We're actually looking at Chef right now, and he's Zeus. Count Von Count is Ra, Oasis, Pocket. Oh man, that's exactly where you want to be. And then our other player is Miracle Man with the Aranos, and he is a flank. So actually some really nice gods here for JSS. And hey, how's it going? You found my Switch channel? I guess you did. It's almost like that's kind of like a bot line there. Are you gonna? Maybe it's not. We'll see. You are a bot, you big guy. I knew it. On our right side, we've got GDM. You clown. These clown bots on Twitch. At least maybe you'll count as a viewer. We've got Farion as Zeus. We have our Pocket Juanito is Aranos, and X Platinum is Aranos. I'm surprised X Platinum is not playing Ra. He used to play a lot of Ra back in the day. It's very interesting that he's not Ra and he is actually Aranos. You know, these bots, though, are actually getting pretty good in that they're able to kind of give out part of my stream title and also comment on the game that I'm streaming. So it's kind of interesting that they're able to do all that. So yeah, this click this link in my profile pic. Yeah, okay. And then when my computer gets shut down by ransomware, then I'll send you $3,000. No babysitter bang yet. No. Okay, so actually, we're gonna have some fights over this hunt. I like this. Oh! So excited, my mouse is going crazy. So we're gonna have a chef versus Farion fight. But yes, our Phil fight. I love it. Oh, this is so awesome. And Farion is leaving? He is actually... Oh, come on. You can't... Can't afford that. What I would have done if I were Farion is sent my bills over here from the gold and pressured with all of that. Because if you can win this, whoever wins this actually has a huge advantage. Because this is a ton of idle time that Farion is having coming to come back down here. So big win for Chef there. I think Farion could have stayed. I would have gone forward and fought a lot. One thing is to note though, this as far as Oasis, this is a pretty high hunt. I think last game we had 2 zebra hunt, and this one is 5. On the other side, though, we did have 4 giraffe instead of 3. So yeah, this is higher. But no, you could do it in 3v3. It's just both of these guys would be put behind. But as it is, him moving off from here to here puts him more behind than what you'd think. Because this is walking time wasted here, granary wasted here, and so he's gonna be put behind anyway. If I were him, I would fight it, and even if he were to eventually lose it, I mean, why would you? But you'd also be putting Chef behind as well. And also, I'd do it just because it's cool. That's the main thing I'd get down to, because that's always awesome. Phil fights are great. But yeah, I would have, in this situation, I would have fought this. But then again, I'm a bit more of a maniac than maybe others. So what we do have the double Aranos here, which will be able to double this Aranos down here, because the Ra will likely end up doing a 2-ton center fast heroic. So if they can get a lot of damage on Miracle Man, that would be pretty good for him. But we'll see what happens. The Oracle's fighting the Temple is just so pointless. Oh, by the way, Ultra Noob, I had somebody call you out in a YouTube comment and said that you're really toxic. Okay, here we go down here. So Juanito is grabbing a second town center. I think it was one of your streams where you're really giving me a hard time. One of the streams, yeah, where you're giving me a hard time. And my viewer, who is one of my big fans, apparently. Thank you, viewer. When you probably watch this later on YouTube, he was kind of taking it hard. A little bit of a Promethean Oracle Terma fight here. May the better microer win. And Terma should attack Terma. Terma is okay. So now we do. But, oh, okay. Alright. So far, it's actually going Green's way. We'll see if it continues to go Green's way. I think it will, because Green's got his Murmillos coming in sooner than Miracle Man. And it will eventually, yeah, it is going X Platinum's way. He will force these citizens to go idle. But we do have Chef sending down a hero and a centaur. And well, look at this wall over here. So Pharaon is actually doing centaurs, and Chef is doing Hippicon. I actually like the centaurs instead of the Hippicon better. And Platinum is running. He doesn't really need to fight this because he did push off Miracle Man off of the hunt, which is what his goal was. Platinum should put a manor back here for his hunt, though. Up on the top, we're getting some aggression from red. Boy, this wall. Pretty important to get this wall done so that the centaurs can't come running in here. But the problem, as far as late game, when we start talking about who's going to have the advantage, it's going to be JSS, just courtesy of Ra as opposed to Uranos. But the Uranos did get a second town center. We'll have a decent eco. And we are having a raid here by X Platinum. Is able to get, well, just wander by, I guess. Count with a rain now. Seems like Count is a little bit slower than what he should be. The rain, that's a very delayed rain. What Platinum should have done there is once he got the advantage, should have just grabbed his town center. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why Chef is not doing centaurs. The Hippicon seems to me to be much worse of a strategy than Sense. And we actually see that Pharaon can do 2 town centers and centaurs and can kind of keep up with Chef's aggression, because centaurs not costing food allow Pharaon to do that. And Miracle ended up going back to this hunt to finish off the giraffe. So while Chef kind of had the advantage in the Archaea cage, pushing Pharaon off, just courtesy of This is why you always need to, as Atlantean, get a manor by citizens that are outside of your town, because we're getting manors built nowhere. I guess he doesn't have manors. So he was trying to go for a 3rd town center, and that hurts. He's not going to be able to get it. And now we do have Platinum getting this back town center, and we see Platinum. He's not a bad. Platinum is a pretty decent player. He's been playing for a while. I'm not as familiar with Juanito, and even Pharaon has been playing for a while, and did recently beat Chemo in a 1v1, as certain members of the community, aka Magic, are not letting Chemo forget. But the problem is, we get going into the later stages of the game, we're going to have a Ra. And Ra, late game Oasis, gets that trade route going. So strong. And now we do have the centaurs kind of pushing this Hippicon back. But this game is actually still fairly close. But Juanito, he is going just full pop army right now, which is what he should do. But he's going to have to be careful late game. He'll need to go with the Vortex instead of the Tartarian Gate. It'll be very important. And we see Count is going way forward on this side to help out Chef. And Pharaon is trying to grab the forward town center, which is probably not going to work out for him. And also he's losing his centaurs here. He's going to lose another center. What is Farian doing? Oh, you gotta run. There you go. Okay, he uses a bolt. And... Or never mind. Yeah, okay. Okay, good bolt, actually, to get that hero down. So that will allow Farian to get that town center. And he's also crapping this one? Farian is getting 4 town centers? Now that's bold. I don't know if he'd really have the food to keep up, and I don't know, well, he's not going to get this town center anyway. But Juanito is going to need to come up here and help out Farian. Otherwise, Farian at the receiving end of, ooh, this ceasefire isn't worth it. Because even if he builds this town center and finishes it, he's not going to be able to hold it. So this is a wasted ceasefire. And there's nothing, I don't think, on the other end that was really requiring a ceasefire at all anyway. So not good to throw away a ceasefire like this. It's just such a powerful god power in certain situations. But GDM is actually up ahead in score. Chef is way behind. The Hippocon strategy, I just don't think it's good on Oasis here. Count does need to get his siege in here. But I just don't... Farian just doesn't have an army. And there's just no way he's going to be able to hold this. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he does. Do need to kill this Pharaoh. But actually, Count's kind of army is kind of all over the place. Oh, here we go. The Locust will prevent the Vils from getting this siege tower. Oh, will these Murmillo come in? The Murmillo need to get on the siege tower. It's just going to be a little too late, I think. Oh. One down, and they get the other one down in time. The Murmillo, if they could have ran right up here, it's still going to be close. Man, if he holds this, I would be amazed. But got one more siege tower coming in. Oh, come on, the siege tower. Oh, shockwave. Oh, man. That was a high value shockwave there. Wow. Actually, Count really hurt himself. He never made any siege out of this siege camp. Where are these Vils going? He needs to repair this. And where are these Murmillo? What is going on here? Why? What in the world? It's like, Count, you should have destroyed it. So we will run our army away and allow you to. Oh, this is... What's going on down here? We actually have Platinum is ahead of Miracle Mankind. No, he's not. He actually, Platinum does not have his forward town center. So, but he is up. Oh, we have a difference in heroic choices. We've got Thea versus Hyperion, and needs to watch out for this. This is actually a winning fight for Platinum if he fights this. I don't know why he's retreating. Just needs to get the bird on the satyr, and he should be able to push through and prevent this. But even with losing this town center, I wouldn't say it's a terrible thing for GDM. Let me get all this text off. What did I see there? So Miracle Man is up Hikate, and now he is fighting back and winning this. So Miracle Man is doing pretty good. But wasted his Lampade, so how is Juanito doing? Juanito is up really slowly though. As a pocket, Juanito should be much farther than where he is. And we have the Tartarian gate down here. Like, Juanito has the pocket getting an early town center. He should really be... I mean, if Miracle Man could be mythic as a flank, Juanito should be mythic right now too. So just a difference in the pockets will probably end up hurting GDM just a little bit too much. And oh, we have a shift onto the gold mine, which is immediately responded to by Juanito. Kind of at low value shifting sands. I don't have a problem with this necessarily if he sends some vills along with this and then builds a back build, but just the shift to kill a few citizens, which he didn't end up killing any, just there's not much value in that when you consider you're spending a god power just to raid a gold mine like this. And the citizens should be able to kill these responding shockwaves here. The citizens should be able to finish this off, and they are. Well, this is a lot of idleness. So we did actually, Platinum did destroy the Tartarian gate, and Farion's still in a decent position up here, but Platinum is going to be falling behind Miracle Man pretty quickly now, because Platinum is only at 2 town centers and Miracle is at 4 shortly. And Juanito just isn't quite where he needs to be as far as economically. I wonder why he was so far behind, because he was got to town center the second pretty quick. Miracle Man using chaos for no real reason back here. To steal oh, we could get a raid on this gold mine. Oh yeah, Count can hold this forever now, especially once he builds this town center. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't built it yet. What kind of eco does Count have? Actually, not a ton of eco. Eco upgrade's not too great yet either. Alrighty, so just a few Hippocon down here, but now Farion will kind of have to be facing a double because Juanito's going to have to go full on this side, and actually Juanito has some army down here already. So Juanito is going to have a tough time holding this. It's just the Ra, he's got a lot of spears and a few siege towers, and then the chariots and the Petsuchos behind. And so while GDM will be able to push back on the bottom, they're going to have a bit of a hard time up here. And because, yeah, there's no ceasefire anymore, or no god powers to help them out. And now Chef is ahead of Farion now. Farion is still actually stuck in classical age just because, I mean, even just a little too greedy getting 4 town centers, especially one this far forward. That's just too risky to do, and it did end up putting him back. And I do a great job for the AOT community. Well, thanks, bud. And now, yeah, we have Chef getting this town center, and it looks like Count will grab this one here. And Farion is in deep trouble. He is still stuck in Age 2, and now is kind of running out of eco. And will probably end up being in Age 2 at the end of this game. Juanito is up with Helios, which I'm glad to see him as Helios, but both flanks are behind, and we aren't seeing much of a pushback from GDM here. So they actually had a chance. Had chances in this game. Farion actually could have done well against Chef, but got a little too greedy getting too many town centers. And Juanito was too slow to do his boom with his eco. Like, this kind of stuff here should have been happening like a few minutes prior to this, which would have probably saved Platinum. As it is now, it's kind of too late. We have kind of a ceasefire here. But I probably didn't even need to use it because he does have full town center attacks here. Is Juanito a noob? See, of all these players, I'm least familiar with Juanito. I don't know really who he is. I've seen him, but I don't. I haven't really played any games with him, or maybe I have, but nothing that I can really point my finger at is, oh yeah, I played with Juanito and he was awesome. But I mean, his score is about better than his allies, but I mean that's just a courtesy of being a pocket, as it's you. Oh, president of the world. Who is my favorite player to watch? I'm going to give you a non-answer. It's really less of players and more of like matchups, I suppose. God matchups and stuff. And even God matchups. Say, what do we got down here? A lot of spears roaming around down here. Trying to answer questions and watch and comment the game at the same time. It just doesn't quite work. Well, this is an army dead down here for GDM, and this is Platinum's army dead up here. And Farion is getting completely rolled very soon up here. Miracle Man playing this very well as well to be good. But let's see. It's more of just matchups. I like aggressive 1v1s and team games. Also, I like as well. And like if a 1v1s, when I talk about matchups, I like probably Norse. Anything with Norse in it, like 1v1s is good, just because it's so aggressive. Like probably one of the most recent series I really enjoyed doing was it's been a while actually, 6 months, was Brickhead versus Moore, and that was Thor versus Uranus, and that was actually some pretty good games there. And Loki is fun to watch too as well. But this is kind of the last stand up here for GDM. And the last stand down here for GDM. And then we'll be moving on to game 2. Looking at military. Just a shockwave just to use it, I guess. Though it did get a ton of units. But Eco's, what are we looking at here? And Juanito doesn't even have the second Eco upgrade here. And Count's getting his massive trade route, as is what he should. We had a Tartarian gate that got pointlessly used down here that is now destroyed. Is empowering the market, which is good. So the empowerment is getting him 169 from the trade route plus another 25%. It's just crazy trade. Do I think Midgard has optimization problem in long? What do you like? Do you mean as far as gameplay or like computer usage? I guess I don't quite understand your question. We have an underworld here that has been responded to by a vortex, the underworld, to prevent this town set or this Titan gate that is coming up. But we have a resignation anyway from Platinum, who is completely dead. Farron just still stuck. Did Farron ever get out of H2? He didn't. So Farron is stuck in H2, but he's almost H3, so maybe he'll wait to resign once he gets H3. Nope. So never got H3. That hurts. And that is game over. I still guess I don't under. I see you mean team game, but what do you mean? Oh, you mean as far as like lag? It's. Oh, is he gonna get this tighten up at least? At least we get this tighten up. There we go. Now you can resign. Yes. There's a possibility it could. It is also a land water map as well, which is also a little bit harder. and there are late game. There is a little bit less optimization late game because of caravans. There is some pathing stuff with caravans that can cause slowdown. But as far as the game here, it is JSS 1 and GDM 0. And we will move on to our second game, which I already know. Yeah, at least he got it up. That was what he wanted. Get it up and then resign. Do the post game real quick. Take a look at kind of our differences. We could kind of focus on a couple of our 1v1s. We actually had Platinum and Miracle were pretty close there initially, but then Platinum actually getting that early town center, and then Miracle went one town center into age 4. And yet somehow he was ahead in economy despite being a town center down. It's not very often that you see a one town center mythic for Atlantean. And then on the other hand, Farion versus Chef was actually pretty similar as well. Farion had some idle town center time here for a while. That's not good. Or no, that was Chef. Chef had idle town center time. Lot was losing vills. And so Farron actually was doing well, but then this is when he grabbed his 4th town center, and then he started losing vills, and there's just too much eco put in. I'm not sure, Ozone, I guess is the answer. So JSS versus GDM, we are going to go on to our second game, which is on Mediterranean. I would assume this would be JSS's home map. For some reason, they like to pick Medit. I guess they're pretty good at it, so why not? So what are you looking at for gods here? Down on the or on our left is our GDM heroes. Aranos is Juanito. The Pocket is Hades, and then the other side is Gaia. And on our right, we have Chef as Zeus, our Pocket Gaia, and then Count Von Count with Hades. We again see both Gaias giving trees to their buddies, which is what they should be doing. Though Miracle put his trees too close to the town center. You actually want to target your trees to be a little bit farther, like right here, so that when they're done, there's just not quite up against the town center, because now with Vills will kind of have a hard time optimizing this usage. You'll get maybe like 4 good Vills without walking time, then the rest are going to have to run around each other and bump into each other because pathing is pathing. But I guess it's the same thing up here as well. And this kind of nitpicking, but it is what it is. But interesting gods anyway. Hades, Gaia. The only difference in the two teams is Zeus v. Uranos. Gaia, as I was mentioning on the others for the first Medit game today, especially in a team game on Medit, is probably a better choice than Uranos. There's a little bit of issues late game. Uranos is a little better late game. Maybe. And then even then you could argue a little bit, because Gaia does have faster caravans. But early game, the gift of trees is huge. And then you also do at least get the Carnivora for water. Rain does help allied farms and also opponent farms as well. It's not as much as how much it helps the actual raw player, but it does help. I forget the numbers off the top of my head. It might be kind of a ×2, and raw gets a ×3 maybe, something like that. Though even those numbers aren't quite exact because of how farming works, and farming requires a lot of movement, and obviously that is not buffed by rain. So even though technically when you look at rain and it says, I think it's maybe a ×3, it's not actually ×3 because of all the walking time. But it does help. Rain does help allies, and it does help opponents for farms. Count made a granary just to get this Auroch, so I'm not really sure if that's worth it when he could just be eating piggies instead the entire time, but maybe it is. Chef got a lot of pigs as well. Yes, rain does favor enemies. And Farion too, though he did make that as well. So we got with Hades, well, Hades kind of has a choice where they can either go Restoration or Pestilence. Generally you'll see Restoration because Restoration on boat battles, sword Restoration in period is so good. Do we have anybody aging yet? Ooh, I actually have Farion going up Ares, so we'll be seeing Pestilence. Count is going up Athena, and I believe he was the other Hades. Yeah, so we already have a little bit of departure in the two Hades. We have Athena v Ares. The Athena is probably better, especially in a team game where you can get allied boats in on all of that restoring goodness. But his Medit was pretty normal. We're going to see some pretty hefty boat battles followed into a town center boom and then late game land pushing with underworld shenanigans from the Hades. Do these commands only work if there's an observer? Yes, there has to be an observer for it to work. Though I think yeah, it only works for an observer. So if there's a recording game with an observer, you can use these commands. Alright, so Count is up Athena, Farion is up Ares, Miracle Man up, JS. Everybody's getting up right around the 4:30 time. We have Platinum is now up, and everybody's up, and we are going to see a bunch of fighting. Farion has used the Pestilence on both of Count's docks. The problem with Pestilence is that you need to follow it up with aggression. Otherwise, eventually, after a couple minutes, the Pestilenced player will be able to keep up with water. So yeah, Miracle Man needs to come down here and cover Count, which is what he's doing. And they are doubling on the other side for Farion. But they need to keep the pressure up. No, they didn't swim across it. That's actually... and then up here we have a 1v1 Chef versus Platinum. Chef will have a resto if he needs it. And we have another guy is Forest Fire. So the 4 seconds is up now. And I just... we don't even really have any pressure from GDM at all. So even though they've used Pestilence, they really haven't done anything with that. You have to be careful. We have Juanito fighting while Farion is not. Need to be, and now we're gonna have. It definitely, this is what happens, and then you have Juanito retreat, and then Farion starts fighting, and then it becomes like a teeter-totter. Well, one will fight, and the other will retreat, and then when they realize, oh, he's fighting, he'll come back, and the other will retreat. So finally, they're now fighting at the same time. We have a very well-placed Carnivora, which gets an instant kill on a boat. We also have Restoration. These guys need to run. A little bit early for the Restoration. They were going to win this fight anyway because of the Carnivora sitting right there in the middle. What do we got going on the top half here? Yeah, I'm sure this is JSS. What am I using? I think it's 1920 by 1080. What is Farion doing? He needs to fight. His boats are not fighting. They're just like going right up in melee range. Micro can really hurt. And we actually have... Platinum is getting the advantage over Chef on the top. That Carnivora probably could have been placed a little bit better. So, but on the bottom side, though, GDM is losing this a little too much. Well, actually, Count is... No, it's GDM needs to go back. And Ronino needs to go back too. So what Platinum needs to do, since he has Chef under his docks, this is not a place you want to fight. Platinum needs to come down here and help his buddies out. And needs to come down really fast, or this is going to be the end of GDM on the bottom. he goes, if Platinum comes down here, it then forces Chef to do something, either come forward or respond. And instead, Platinum has the advantage, but he's not doing anything with it, and is actually fighting 3 boats at a time. So Platinum needs to come down. Which one is Gersum? What are you talking about? Because I don't see anybody in here. Oh, X Platinum. Yes, no, X Platinum. No, you're right. I've played quite a bit in the past with X Platinum, and he is a pretty good player. But down here on the bottom, GDM is just getting absolutely rolled. And you can see Miracle Man is just so far ahead of Juanito. And Chef is using his restoration just on a bunch of boats that are already winning. And this bottom of the map, not good. Juanito is so far behind in like boat production. It's amazing. Like you compare the Uranoses or the Gaias, I guess, or whatever this guy is, and Juanito is just way behind, and even Farion is a little bit behind. Count as well, but Platinum doing well up here, and for all intents and purposes has the advantage over Chef. And now this is where he needed to put his very first Carnivora, which tanks quite a bit of damage from the docks, and then does get an instant kill on the boat if you can do that. Yeah, Medit is JSS's home map, I'm sure. They've always picked it. And now Juanito is finally rolling over Chef for good, but GDM is kind of getting smacked down here. And we see that GDM is kind of slightly fighting back here. The reason we see that is because JSS took the time when they had the advantage to get their town centers, whereas GDM isn't. So GDM will kind of be on the aggression for now just a little bit, and then once these town centers are done, oh, you're running through and getting a lot of damage on your boats. Ooh. Oh, you might as well have just fought that. Yeah, I don't know what the point was in that. Just run through and lose all his boats. Now he fights after he took a lot of damage. Like, he had the boat numbers at the beginning there, and just lost a lot of HP, and now he's going to lose the fight. And we see JSS is getting all the town centers. We're getting 3 grabbed by pretty much everybody now. Yeah, needed Mr. Boat for the boat fight. Because GDM is just putting so much resources into retaking the sea, and Platinum is just sailing on by his buddies who are fighting. Oh, now they come back. You guys got this, I'm out. He's like, oh, well, let me come back. And now he's where he needs to be. Because this is a 3-on-2. But he kind of wasted some time, and the 3-on-2 is actually might now go in. Yeah, it's going to go in JSS's favor anyway. So some kind of poor teamwork from GDM here, which is resulting in them losing a lot. And Juanito can't even get his forward town center versus Count. You got the Minotaur and Hero preventing that, so Juanito will have to try to get his back now. And I don't think Platinum will even get his forward town center either. So JSS is got the huge eco advantage. They're still kind of pushing a little bit on this side. And although Chef doesn't have water at this point, it doesn't really matter. And yes, Gersum denied. Platinum has lost a lot of boats for kind of no reason. But Juanito is just so far behind. And yeah, once you get to this point, it's just kind of impossible to come back, especially when you're all Atlant, so many at 2 Atlantean with kind of weaker late game compared to other non-Atlantean, although actually we have 2 Atlantean on each team. But once you start falling behind town centers, it's so hard to come back. It's not like you can really raid to get your advantage back. So while the game might go on for another 5 or 10 minutes, at this point it's basically etched in stone what the result is. But there are very rare comebacks, but those are few and far between. Nobody's advancing right now. Chef doesn't have a ton of resources, but he's in a good spot. Platinum is holding pretty well. I mean, Platinum did win the 1v1 versus Chef, but on the other side, his buddies got absolutely wrecked on water, which is allowing JSS to get the town center advantage. And problem is Atlantean trying to push on Medit is just so hard, because I mean, this is the distance that he has to get to Chef, and he's not going to kill this town center in classical age, not even going to kill it in heroic age either. And during that time, if Chef needs help, but Miracle will be able to show up anyway and help out, as Miracle already is helping. He's helping by killing all of Platinum's boats, and even though Platinum beat Chef pretty hard on water, Chef is still happily fishing while Platinum is not, because Platinum got let down by his teammates. Oh, killing this citizen would be huge, because this is Miracle's only forward citizen. Would be great if he could kill it. I guess they'll just shoot at it a few times and kind of let it wander away. So Platinum is trying to get in a raid here, which is really what you have to do, because staying here and fighting won't really accomplish anything, and he will just get this town center up just in the nick of time. There's still a few fights on water. Count has the fishing upgrade. All of JSS has fishing upgrade, and only Pharaon does for GDM. And Juanito never was able to get his town center. And Platinum getting some raids in. This will do some damage here, though he is apparently attacking the town center. Alright. It's easy to watch and point out mistakes. There he is. So the question is, though, while he's raiding, will he be able to hold this town center? I think he will, because Chef doesn't really have very many hoplites, and most of these are just Toxotes. And Juanito is a nice raid, killing actually a few vills now. I don't know why Chef isn't garrisoning these villies. He lost like 4 more than what he should have. I guess Chef just doesn't care. Let's have them all die. But the town center is slowly eliminating these vills, but Chef just letting his populace die. What does he care? I think it's even like he alt-S'd everybody too, because they aren't even running. Chef does not care. And now we have a Minotaur up here, and we have another Minotaur. And will this town center stay up? On the bottom side, Count is getting another town center. That Minotaur, does he have... Oh, he did get the HP upgrade, though. Good to see that. Those HP upgrades for buildings are huge. Because it gives more... Not only does it give HP, it also gives hack and crush armor, and the 12% and even the 4% is helpful, but the 12% for hack is actually pretty good. But the citizen down here getting picked off by the boats, and this is the only citizen left. And yes, this town center will go down. Another little raid on the back here, but loses his town center. Probably didn't need to if he kind of would have repaired it a little bit better. but he did lose it all the same. And again, Chef is like just apparently just letting all, that's maybe not paying as much attention as he should. What do we got for text coming up here? See a lot of text by JSS. H4 Hecate, H4 Artemis, H3 Apollo, H3 Theia. So yeah, JSS will just be advancing so much faster, and then we'll have an earthquake to just completely demolish something. Count it as 180 pop. Upping with Underworld soon, or not Underworld, Earthquake soon. Does have an Underworld. Could almost like Earthquake this and then Underworld up here or something. But it might just be more conventional and just use it down here. But we shall see. Miracle Man is up as well. Benjamin. Or Benjamin. We'll go with Benjamin. Good to have you aboard. Still killing units, and now finally he's fighting back. We have Earthquake up here. I thought the Earthquake might come down up here. A little bit. Should have aimed it more over here, though. Would have probably gotten a little more important buildings than back here. Could have gotten a bit more, but so the Earthquake here, the Tartarian Gate here. Well, the problem is, Camps here, is right now my YouTube, my restream, I need to fix it. It's not streaming to my YouTube automatically. I don't know why, but when I came back last night, it didn't work. Do I think now is the time to go fishing again at sea? No. Fishing becomes worse than farming late game. Though, I mean, Atlantean kind of needs all the eco they can get, so it probably could do some fishing. It probably would be beneficial. We have an Earthquake, counter Earthquake here, just to demolish this forward build. This is a nice Earthquake. It's a town center, a few buildings, some towers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you need the food, it's not bad. It's just late game, though. It's just so pop inefficient. Well, the food gather rates aren't really that accurate when it comes to fishing and farming because of all the walking distance that's involved in it. And that's mainly why fishing isn't that great, because there's generally a decent amount of walking distance, or I guess sailing distance for a boat. But what we have up here, we had an Underworld use back here, and Count has demolished the back town center, and Juanito's at 1, Platinum's at 1, and it's kind of the end of the game right now. Platinum played well, but he was let down by his teammates. The heroes. What kind of text we looking at for Chef? Only has Plow. And that is Platinum resigning. And Juanito and Farron. So GG. So another 2-0. You know what's crazy is so far in all the RTS League games I've done this season, we haven't had any 1-1 splits. Everything has been 2-0, 2-0. So let's quick look at the post game here. We can kind of focus in on Platinum and Chef. And look at Platinum was pretty well ahead. He ended up, because his fishing got killed, that allowed Chef to catch up. But Platinum was pretty well ahead for a while. And even at one point, even on military, was way ahead. And settlement's a little bit behind, but not terrible. So Platinum did well. But then we kind of compare the other side of the map. And we can see that Miracle way ahead of Juanito, and then also Count ahead of Farron. and that is what cost them. We could probably go down and look at the kill-loss ratio and see that, yeah, both Miracle and Count were pretty far ahead. Juanito, really bad. Chef bad, because Platinum kind of was doing really good. But that is this series. So actually, Division 2, which is, or no, this is Division 1, or that we are watching right now, is they're having a little bit of scheduling issues. WKT might end up dropping, so we don't have quite as many games as Division 2, which has played all the games on time up till now, but Division 1 is a little bit behind. So our actual next game, oh, I switched these around, didn't I? I was supposed to do .A next. So anyway, our third matchup will be GDM versus .A. So actually, GDM versus JSS was a week 3, and GDM versus .A is week 2, and TMB versus UCA was week 2. So we are going to move on to GDM versus .A in a minute. I will step away for just a couple minutes, or maybe 1 minute. And a bit here, it seems kind of weird just to have it as quiet, so maybe I'll just put in like the AOM soundtrack or something. So give me a minute and I will be back. Soundtrack is loud. That's weird how that works. My computer is so weird. What is all of this? People sending me messages on the boobs. Anyway, we will go back into our RTSL game. So GDM versus DoD. Now GDM really needs to get a win. They've lost the first round against WKT. That would really help them if WKT ends up dropping because of lack of something. Scheduling prowess, I guess. Oh, there's actually a soundtrack. A soundtrack to what? Age of Mythology? But GDM versus DoD. So GDM needs to win. I mean, the top 3 in each division go. I would say DoD and JSS are the top. Well, no, I don't know. But DoD, I would say, is a pretty here thing. Pretty. You didn't hear anything? I had it playing. Are you guys hearing the... Whatever. Anyway, GDM versus DoD. Oh, we're going to see our first Norses of the night. Oh, Marsh. I love Marsh. My favorite. Alright, so GDM really needs a win if they want to advance the playoffs. But getting a win against DoD will be pretty tough. On our right of the map is DoD, and we've got our first Norse appearances of the night, so that's cool. We get a little bit of some difference here. We've got Brickhead as an Odin, and we have Shelty as a Loki, and then we have Heimdall as an Uranus. Brickhead and Shelty both really good. Heimdall pretty good too as well. Not quite to the level of Shelty and Brickhead, but he's solid. And then on our left is GDM. And we've got a new GDM player, Zakio, is up here in the top, and he is Uranus. X-Platinum is an Odin. I don't know how good his Odin is. Down the bottom we have Juanito, and he is Uranus. Zakio is a pretty solid player as well. Probably a little bit better than Farion, so this is actually maybe a slightly better team for GDM. Though I don't like their Civ combinations here. The Loki is really probably going to do some work this game, so we will see if GDM can react. And I don't know how good Platinum is with Odin either, so we'll see what he can do. He's also saving his Great Hunt for something. I'm not sure why he hasn't used it yet. But as far as the gameplay, we are going to see Brickhead most likely going Ulsarks. Shelty will of course go Herseer, and then Heimdall will be doing the typical Uranus Vermillo Terma. Platinum could go Ulsark as well, might go Raiding Cavalry, but that's kind of the one choice that Odin has, is they can go either Ulfsark or Raiding Cavalry, though typically nowadays you tend to see more Ulfsark strats than Raiding Cavalry, but we'll see. Do get a lot of relics in Marsh. Looking for the one that makes heroes move faster. Mithril Horseshoes does improve cavalry speed. Have not seen it. Actually, not really too many good relics. The only really good one would be the Mithril Horseshoes, which if as Platinum gets it, it would probably be better for him to go Raiding Cavalry than Ulsarks. Brickhead Odin. We actually see more often, we see more Odin than Thor nowadays. It used to be more so Thor over Odin, but it's kind of the way the meta has gone, and kind of the balance patches too. Odin's got pretty decent boosts here and there, which is making him more playable, because in the past you would not see Odin much. Of course, Marsh is also good for Odin because of the hunting bonus that Odin gets. I think it's 20%. I'm not exactly sure. Platinum needs to watch out. He's got some idleness. There we go. I'm not sure why Platinum didn't use his Great Hunt. Kind of unusual. Alright, Freya, Prometheus, nothing surprising there. Getting his mana up. That is good. Yeah, no really good relics to grab. I think there's maybe one more that's got scouted up here. I don't know. No. So, won't see that. We do see that first few Herseers coming out. The Uranus can do damage to the Odin, but the Loki can, once that Loki power boulder gets rolling, it's so hard to stop it. Just as the myth units keep getting spawned and they keep killing more and more Atlantean units, which then spawns more myth units, it just tends to be a bit of a snowball effect, and Shelty's good enough that he can take advantage of all that. But yeah, Loki is really solid team games. We have a forest fire just randomly being used down here. I guess you're not going to get a lot of value for forest fire. Juanito, I don't even think knows that this forest is burning. His villager is still just standing there. And Juanito is also getting probably pushed off of his forward hunt. So Juanito, you might wonder if he's AFK at this point. He's not, he's just paying attention here, but yeah, he's getting pushed off of his hunt just so easily. And Brickhead is going with Ulsarks, which they do train a lot faster than raiding cavalry. But our problem is that Juanito has already been pushed off of hunt at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's not good. A little forest fire here. So Platinum is going raiding cavalry, whereas Brickhead is going Ulsark. And we see Shelty coming up here with his Herseer. Proms are doing a little bit of work back here, at least keeping one citizen idle. Forcing Heimdall to react to that. Sakio did get a relic that makes his units more resistant to pierce attacks. And now Juanito is pushed Brickhead back. Kind of surprised Brickhead is going back so far. His army is still better. I wonder if he's thinking he's going to be getting attacked by Platinum or something. Not sure. The problem when you're like Norse raiding with raiding cavalry is that it's hard for them to kill myth units. So the Loki can kind of keep his hunt safe by just a troll and a few Herseer. And then as long as the Herseer keep fighting, they'll eventually spawn another myth unit, which will then be really hard for the raid to get in on the hunt. Because in order to slow down a Loki, you need to get the hunt stopped. And that's what's so hard about it, is it leaves a few Herseer with the free myth unit. Herseer spawn another myth unit, and then you're not killing the hunt. Juanito. Oh, we got a little bit of an Ulfsark raid here. They will kill nothing. Just run through, I guess. Raiding cavalry trying to get some damage done. Not really doing much there other than just dying. Zakio does for the moment have the aggression on Heimdall. Some villagers up here, but well-placed wall, right, that keeps that from happening. X-Platinum needs to be careful. Boy, Shelty could have done damage here with those Herseer, but he didn't find the hunt up there. And Brickhead has kind of got himself in a corner here. Will take some damage on his units. And a counter raid from Juanito. Like, Brickhead had a good start, but now he's a little bit suffering a little bit. A little bit of a counter raid, which is going well for Juanito. And these Ulfsarks, one thing Ulfsarks don't do well against is they don't do well against Promethean. And these Brickhead right here, this raid is really not accomplishing much other than getting his units attacked. But Platinum is kind of way behind. Raiding cavalry is just it's hard to raid with raiding cavalry against the enemy Loki, and that's kind of putting him substantially behind the enemy Loki, who is still happily hunting and will probably be aging up with a relatively decent time and preventing this town center for now. Platinum does have a few military units, and Zakio, because he has the pressure, was able to fall back and help. But yeah, now we have a Heimdall coming over here, and Shelty arriving again, and Zakio is slightly out of position, but he'll end up meeting this army here. Shelty just needs a few myth unit spawns. There's the nice to get a forward iron jar. Right here, he can tank so much damage. But on the other side, Zakio, it did win this fight pretty significantly. And then another Valk spawn. Well, not another, a first Valk spawn, which is pretty. Oh, we got the old Sarks finding this. But for some reason, the Valks are getting hurt down. Shelty has to fall back because Heimdall is so far behind Zakio. And now that is just a waste of these two myth units. But Shelty will probably be advancing soon. Yeah, he's already upping Braggy. Well, 11%, so we'll be a while. But nice help from Zakio. Come give Platinum a boost. We got a villager killed down here. Nice counterattack from Juanito down here. And oh, this is a good raid. You should be able to kill a few vills. And did lose one back here, but he's putting in some damage. Shelty's going to have to come down here and help out. Because if Juanito properly aligns his Murmillo here, he should kill all of these vills. Because once you get the hack attack on, it slows the vills down a little bit. And we'll kill a few. Oh, I guess they can't hide in the tower. So killed a few. But Dot right now isn't actually in a little bit of a rough situation because both flanks are kind of losing. Shelty's going to need to get some benefit out of this early Braggy and get a nice early flaming weapons. But Zakio has kind of responded pretty well. I don't know why he's still got resources in this town center he's not building. He needs to get a town center. Because Brickhead is at 2. But this, and he's up with Skady. Zakio has the better army. He should fight this. But not good to fight under these towers. So he needs to get, okay, he is getting a town center. We have a fight up here. This game is pretty close. Big fight here. The problem though I see is that Platinum is decently behind Shelty. And if Shelty can get a really good early flaming weapons, that's going to put GDM in a rough situation because it might actually be good for Shelty just to eventually use flaming weapons here. And with Platinum so far behind, it might start that Loki avalanche that we talk about. Like really, Juanito should almost be, since he has the advantage, could be up here, but are we going to see flaming weapons being used? Or we could even see just a frost, and that would screw this entire thing up. Boy, if he could get on that gold mine there. But I don't think he's going to see it. Yeah, he's not even going to need to use flaming weapons here, which is great, because then he can use flaming weapons in the main town center push. And now Zakio is now falling behind quite a bit. Probably should not have grabbed that forward town center. Probably should have been more safe and grabbed the back one first. Because this is just such a great place for the Loki to attack. And the same thing for Platinum. It probably would have been better for him to grab the back town center first. And we see Brickhead did end up pushing Zakio back. And actually Zakio never got this town center, not Zakio, Juanito never got this town center, probably because these old Sarks came down and caught it. And now we have Shelty pushing down here. He kind of wants to force out the frost before the flaming weapons, but Zakio is falling. Oh, Zakio just resigns, I guess. A little bit, slightly early of a resign, but the game was kind of written and it was kind of headed towards that direction. And so kind of a sudden resign here. But yeah, things weren't going GDM's way. They were all behind, aging up. Juanito was, Juanito, I guess they had 2 up, but yeah, the difference was just Platinum compared to Shelty. Platinum tried to get some early raids, it didn't work. He lost raiding cavalry. and then took him a while to get an eco, and then he was too slow to advance, and then that kind of Loki powerhouse shows up, and Platinum just couldn't help fast enough, and that was the end of Zakio's forward. But actually, I mean, just not a ton of mistakes from GDM. It actually played pretty decently, but just a few key issues. Platinum not quite doing what he needed to do. I think it would probably be better to be, Platinum. No, Platinum was Odin. Which Odin can work. Though, if you're going to go just one Norse in a team game, you should be going Loki. I guess I just don't know how good Platinum's Loki is. But that was game 1 to DoD A. I would assume that map was probably DoD's map. I know they like Marsh. So we will go on to game 2, and this will be the last game of the night. Oh, game 2 is also Marsh. Interesting. So whoever picked the first map ended up, the next team picked the second map. So on the top left is GDM. And it looks like they do have slightly different gods. Platinum is now Uranus. He is a flank. Juanito is switched from Uranus to Loki. We'll see how that goes. And Zakio is Uranus again. So this is the Loki in exchange for an Uranus is good. I don't know. I guess they got rid of, because Platinum's Odin was so poor last game, they switched him over to Uranus, and Juanito was trying his hand at the Norse. On the right side is DoD. We have Jellyfish. He has taken Heimdall's spot, and Jelly, his Loki. Shelty is Loki. And Brickhead is Odin. It's kind of funny. They're actually like almost in the exact same spots as last game. Shelty and Brickhead are the same, and then Heimdall was over here. Now it's Jellyfish, and they're actually in the same spots. Huh. Interesting. Just rotated slightly. I think like before Brickhead was like over here base, so just move slightly. Otherwise it's like all the same. They might have gone random. Again, maybe they did. I don't know why you'd go random in RTS League when you're trying to actually win games. Triple Norse isn't bad, especially again when you got Lokis against Uranus, which you start getting those myth units, and that's the end of Uranus. And the one thing that the Lokis get is that with Hall of Thanes, their units are so fast that they can switch sides of the map so quickly. Looking for some good relics. Nothing too great yet. We'll see what happens in this game. This is one of those games that you get a few raids early, it could kind of be the end of the game very quickly. Somebody just gets absolutely mashed. And the problem is also Loki, like V-Loki matchups. And Loki, I mean, I guess it's just Loki in general, is just so snowbally. And, I mean, Juanito is clearly not up to the same level as, like, Shelty. So, Juanito just gets behind a little bit, and then Shelty is a good enough player that he can just take advantage of that, and then falling behind a little bit equals falling behind a lot. 2 wall relics are right here. We're upping at standard builds, looks like. I like Marsh. Just has so much food. So aggressive. So unlike Mediterranean. Of all maps, Medit is probably my least favorite. Just because it's kind of the same every game. So GDM kind of needs to salvage a win here. Otherwise, a lot of losses, which means they'd almost need to win out, which would be pretty tough to do. Spoiler, Brickhead uses Mountain Giant spam. Yeah, you could do that. It'd be cool to see if that happens. Yeah, 4:30. Looking like everybody's aging up soon. Looks like normal. Yeah, normal guys. Nothing crazy. Hunting dogs. Probably will get pickaxe at some point. How are we looking for a hunt? We actually want. Platinum has a ton of back hunt yet. Got some aurochs and hippos. Juanito has some hunt. They're kind of on different sides though. And Zacchio's got, well, I mean, you know, Gab this back hunt, but yeah, they're pretty. This back hunt's in pretty good spots too. Okay, does have some gold mines, but he didn't actually scout his back gold mines yet. And neither did X Platinum. Oh yeah, he got this gold mine, and oh yeah, he's got him. Or maybe that was the other civ or other team, DoD, that had it. So getting a few. Brickhead makes infantry trained faster. I don't know if that applies to Herseer. I don't think it does. Jellyfish gets, well, I guess I'd have to check on Shelty to see. No, it doesn't affect Herseer. I don't think. Who got that relic? Oh, Brickhead got it. Never mind. Well, it'll help Brickhead for his, if he's gonna make Ulsarks again, because that relic definitely helps the Ulsark spam. And Juanito's coming down here with his first few Herseer. Zacchio is coming as well, making a Cataspeltes first, which is kind of not a good unit to make because Brickhead is making Ulfsarks, but I guess there's no way to know it. Okay, so there's the first two longhouses here. We'll see if X Platinum is able to get on to Jellyfish at all. Remember, the key to slowing down Loki is getting on Loki Hunt. And Jellyfish is very safely behind his base hunting. And has 3 more hippo that he can go to, and then does have his aurochs up here. Heranos can do some things against Odin. So we've got our 2-on-2 down here, and then our 1-on-1 up here. But right now, X Platinum is losing a little bit of HP. Brickhead doesn't quite lose it. Ulfsark. Nice little walls here that you can just retreat through. Walls are very important in Age of Mythology, and they don't really cost that much, and the benefit you get from them is usually very, very good. Brickhead is a little bit, okay, here's his Ulfsark. Alright, I'm going to see he's a little bit behind in military production, but here it comes. Lots of back hunt, too. These Herseer, are we getting Hall of Thanes yet? Shelty is, and actually Juanito got Hall of Thanes slightly before Shelty did. Yeah, so far nothing real important has happened yet, just kind of some posturing, I guess you could say, for the military, but there's really nothing been put on anybody's eco. Okay, Shockwave kind of saves that fight. We have the troll here. Ulfsarks really do suck against myth units, and that ended up being a pretty strong win there for GDM. Killed a few Ulfsarks. 2, looks like. Shelty going for a raid. Did we have any spies used? Juanito didn't use his spy. Shelty used his. What did he spy? Do we know? Okay, so he spied these forward citizens. And Juanito, I guess, just isn't using his spy this game. We got a kind of a raid, counter raid, Platinum up here, and Jellyfish back here. Always nice to get a spy on the enemy army, because then you can see exactly where it is. know. Shelty kind of went forward like he was going to do some aggression. Now he's kind of falling back again. And then we'll answer and split his army up now. And Zakio is a little bit behind in army production. And he's going to end up having 3 idle citizens here for a while. And getting some attacks on his units, and this could go south for Zakio pretty quick here. Nice back raid by Juanito, though. Is pushing Vils off, and we'll be able to kill these Hersiers so long as he attacks them. But on this side, Juanito losing some units here, and is at risk of losing his 3 forward citizens. So Juanito needs to come down and help, because these Olsarks will do, now that they've got medium upgrade, gonna do some damage, and I don't think there's a shockwave up. Well, Platinum has a shockwave. You'd actually want to use it here. I'm surprised the shockwave isn't coming. But when it comes, it'd be kind of hard to anticipate, knowing that your ally would need it unless he's asking for shockwave. So the 2 Lokis are raiding each other. Where did Juanito's? Juanito's army is going way back. He needs to stop by here, because Zakio is kind of falling behind. I don't think really Shelty has done too much damage on his raids. You know, he definitely didn't find the hunt. And oh, Shelty is changing the front on Juanito. Juanito is coming all the way back with his entire army, and Shelty is coming up here. So Shelty is badly out maneuvering Juanito, and that is going to probably result in all these citizens dying. And it's resulting in Zakio's army dying, and now Juanito has recognized his mistake and is coming back down. And oh, Zakio does sneak these Vils out of here. Loses 1. And now Juanito is here, but a little late. And we see that DoD is on the aggression everywhere. Jellyfish and Platinum do both have 2 town centers, but this is not looking good for GDM down here. Zakio is way behind the army. How are we doing for armory techs? Okay, nothing for Shelty and nothing for Juanito. But this is looking a little bit grim down here on the bottom. Juanito's losing a ton of units. And Zakio almost has no units. And these Olsarks just running around whacking at everything. And Juanito's army is almost dead, and Zakio's army is dead, and Zakio has like almost nothing. I got idols here. He has no gold mine, actually. This could spell the end of the game. Because he's got, look at it, Zakio has nothing at all, and he's just got Norse units running everywhere, all over his base. Kind of a surprise, very quick fold from Zakio here. He's just getting smashed. Last game Brickhead didn't quite do as well. This game he is really demolishing. Absolutely mashing on Zakio, and Juanito just a little bit outmaneuvered down here, and then lost a ton of his army. So he didn't neither. I mean, there's no army from GDM down here. And Platinum and Jellyfish are just kind of chasing each other around the map. And Shelty is using flaming weapons, which will put a final nail in the coffin. And that will be the end. Zakio, a very quick game. Holy cow. Yeah, nice walls here. We saw early on that Juanito tried to get through, but by the time he was getting this wall to half, that's when Shelty showed up. And then, yeah, Brick had never had anything in his base, and even Jellyfish too as well also had a lot of walls, and walls are very important. But wow, that was a demolishment by DoD. So the process continues. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And that is it for tonight. The last game for you guys. Resources, GDM was pretty equivalent, but we're going to look at kill loss. And Brickhead is up. Shelty is up. And look at the units between Jellyfish and Platinum. Like, all they literally did was just chase each other around the map. 6 kills and 12 kills. They're just chasing each other around. Is this the end of round 3? No, it's not. This is Division 1. 2 of the round 3. Division 1 is a little bit behind. 2 of the games in round 3 haven't been played yet, and actually one of the games in round 2 hasn't been played. Those are WKT. They might end up dropping because they're just, I guess they just stopped scheduling. But the other division, Division 2, is right on top of where they should be. And I have not done their week 3 games yet. And let's just look real quick at what those gains will be when I stream them. We are looking at Division 2, round 3 will be TMA versus WKTB. ONU versus DoD B, and then kind of the highlight match so far of the season would be F2 versus UCA Team A. And those will be our round 3 matches. So that's what I'll be doing the next time I stream, which won't be for a few days because unfortunately the vacation ends tonight, and then tomorrow, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, I'm working. So come Monday night, or Monday, or Tuesday, I guess, depending on where you are in the world, will be the next stream. So I would anticipate Monday night and Tuesday night next. Probably and I might even, it's been a bit since I've played team games. I might do team games Monday and then stream the Recs on Tuesday. I'll also try to figure out what's going on with my YouTube so I can live stream to that as well. Because I know I got a few, you usually get a few on YouTube that watch there because they can't watch on Twitch. But that's it for tonight, guys. Really, nothing, no games too close tonight, which is too bad. Nice to have some close games, but hopefully next time, I'm looking at the teams. I mean, F2 versus UCA. Those are my number 1 and number 2 teams in both of the divisions. So that should be good. I think that's a preview of the finals, in my opinion, is F2 UCA. So those should be some good high quality games, kind of a teaser for the finals in a week or in a month or so, month and a half. And then even ONU versus DoD B could be close depending on who DoD B plays with. But we'll see. So hopefully we'll get some good games. Animal Barca says GG's with an apostrophe that he doesn't need. Sorry, guy. And that's that for tonight. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I will hopefully see you guys Monday night with the YouTube back in action as well. So that's it for tonight, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll be working. It's all right. I've been off for 2 weeks. So see ya.